Well, let's wait for that to go 6 o'clock. Oh, that'd be a good idea. I forgot all about that part. All right, everybody over here ready to go?
Yes.
You ready to go, Jason? Yep. All right, so we will call to order this city council regular business meeting agenda for Thursday, July the 11th, 2024. It's 6 o'clock PM. Kaylin, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Baker,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Cool,
Here.
Livingston, Meineke.
Here.
And Mayor Phillips.
I am here as well. We do have a quorum, so we will move on. Item number 2 is a pledge of allegiance. Would you please rise and say the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I am still doing some technology things, so please bear with me just for a second. Item number 3 is approval of the agenda. Would anybody like to move any of the consent agenda items to the regular agenda? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion. Second. Go ahead, Baker.
So I'm gonna call motion by Brown, second by Baker.
Baker.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carries. Item number 4, it's welcome to get some public comment. Thank you all for being here tonight. At this point in time, we'd open the dais for anybody who wants to address council or myself for non-agenda items. We'll give you a 3-minute time limit. Realize we can't take action on those tonight because it's not on the agenda. That would be, and taking action on it would be a violation of the open meetings law. Also, if you'd like to comment on any item in the consent agenda, now would be the time. Any takers? Seeing none, we will move on. Item number 5. We have a new police officer here. Chief, want to go ahead and do the introduction?
Sure. So with me today is Emma Deegan. She's our newest police officer. She started on Monday. She was recommended by to apply for us by a former officer who lived a few doors down, whose kids she babysitted when she was younger. She has degrees from the University of Iowa, a master's degree in counseling. And when it came to the physical agility test, she knocked out the push-ups because she was a varsity rower. Helps on the push-ups. Anybody who's wondering. This is Emma.
Yeah, nice to meet everybody. Grew up just over in West Des Moines, so not far from here at all. Just currently moved to Des Moines. It is a future goal to move to Norwalk. Definitely on my agenda.
Good answer.
Yeah. Overall, just excited to get to know everybody and learn everything that I need to know to start serving the community. Go to the academy end of August.
Questions?
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
We'll be anxious to have you.
Yeah. How'd you like last night? So, you went along with Front Porch Norwalk.
Yep.
How would you think?
Oh, it was nice. We didn't have anything like that in West Des
Yeah.
Moines. So it was nice to have. The rain impacted a little bit.
Yeah.
So I hit every house except for one, but overall, yeah, it was a great experience.
Awesome. All right. Good. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on board. All right. Item number 6 is the consent agenda. Tonight we have expenditures, tax abatements. We got the June 20th, 2024 minutes of the regular city council meeting. We have a new special Class C retail alcohol license for Wynn's Pizza and Steakhouse. We have a block party application at 2800 and 2900 block of Kestrel Street in Brody's Landing for July 27th, 2024. They're going to go 5 to 11 PM. We have a neighborhood block party application for 360 Crescent Lane for July 19th, 2024. They're going to go from 3 to 9 PM. A resolution to approve purchase of water meters and fittings. A resolution accepting the perpetual sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction easement for construction for the North River Sewer Interceptor Project. A resolution approving an updated city clerk job description and approving a new director of internal operations job description. A resolution approving a policy amendment regarding the stormwater homeowner grant program. A resolution approving property liability and workers' compensation insurance renewal for fiscal year 2025. Have a resolution approving the purchase of a used Ford Explorer for the police department. We have a resolution approving change order number 1 with Bluestone Engineering for the public safety HVAC project. A resolution to approve pay estimate number 7 to Vanderpool Construction for the Sunset Drive, Iowa Highway 28 and Chatham Avenue project. A resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with Teamsters Local number 238. We have a resolution approving the purchase of a new Ford Interceptor SUV police vehicle. And we have a resolution approving the purchase of a 2024 Ford ambulance for the fire department. And we have a resolution approving Parks and Recreation to hire Strauss Building Solutions to clean the Norwalk Fieldhouse. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, so I got a motion by Baker, seconded by Meineke. Taylor, would you call roll?
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Minneke,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 7. We have old and new business for consideration, discussion, and possible action. Item A, the resolution approving financial request of the Norwalk Cemetery Association for the construction of a new garage. So we've had a request from the cemetery for the help to build a new garage to replace the current building that they have. Luke, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Well, we do have a couple people in the audience that are here representing the cemetery. We have Linda Busmasman. And Mike Meyer is actually one of our building officials here for the city, but he also does some work with the cemetery, which is great. But it's probably a good time for me to explain that in fact, this is not a city cemetery. They are an independent private organization that is very valuable to this community. Their success means that this is not a city cemetery, nor would it become a perpetual responsibility for the city. So this is in a roundabout way, me trying to express to you the importance of them staying healthy and maintaining that cemetery as it exists. With that said, they are asking to repair a somewhat poor looking building that is luckily disguised behind the bushes as you drive along Cherry Street. They've nursed that one along for quite a while, but they're at a point where it is just ready to be raised. It needs to come down so that they can build a new one. That project is estimated at about $25,000. They've had some meetings with the city explaining what their plans are, what they'd like to do. And we feel comfortable from a staff perspective that we could find those dollars to help them. We would love to see them go to the county and ask for some additional funding to help offset. Although we will let you know that the resolution we put together and the recommendation in this funding request would allow us to go up to 25,000 if in fact they do some additional funding from the county. Great. Linda, Mike, did I miss anything?
I think that we appreciate you, everything you guys do for us, and we need the help, so we appreciate it.
All right.
We do help them on an annual basis, and Gene put that in here. I think 12,000 for last year, and we're doing 15,000 for this year. So we do ongoing funding support. This isn't necessarily unique for us to help them out. So just letting you know that that's another funding thing that we do for the cemetery.
Questions?
No. There's probably a couple different ways we could fund it, but you believe this approach is probably the best one.
Yes, and Ed had emailed me earlier with a couple other suggestions, and so I went to Jean, our finance director. She couldn't be here this evening, but she felt like really the best way for us to do the funding was through the general fund. I think Ed, you had talked about possibly using local option sales tax. If any of those are available, my response to Ed is I felt comfortable with what Jean was recommending, which would come from the general fund. But if you felt the need to direct those dollars from somewhere else, we could do that as well.
Any public comment? I get a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Got a motion by Cool, seconded by Minneke. Any further discussion? Caitlin, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Minneke,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Good deal.
Thank you.
Item 7B is resolution approving. Yep, resolution approving the form of.
You have to stay for the whole meeting.
That's right, you got what you wanted, now you have to say.
I would have told you. It might be considered overtime if he stays. with the whole-
Actually, I'm a superintendent at the Warren County Fairgrounds and we've got a meeting there at 6:30 also.
Oh.
Trying to have that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, item 7B is resolution approving the form of the temporary construction easement agreement for the Ridge at Echo Valley Assessment Project. So this is the resolution. It approves the form. The residents of the Ridge will be asked to sign for the temporary construction easements needed to reconstruct Prairie Sage Drive and Blue Stem Road. Is that right, Wayne?
Correct, Your Honor, or not, the plans are finished and the engineers are ready to acquire easements. They're hoping to start tomorrow if the form is approved tonight. The easements have two payments, one for use of their land, the private property, and a second one for construction of the irrigation systems on private property. I received a quote from an irrigation company. I tried to get three, I was only able to get one. But we've dealt with the irrigation quite a bit at Public Works. We know that's a fair number for the irrigation reimbursement. And then the 8% of the land value, that's standard what we've used on all our past projects. So pretty consistent numbers.
Questions, discussion, comments?
We will need to acquire 30 out of the 36 properties.
Is there a map or something that shows which properties? Just curious.
I have one, yes. I don't have it readily available,
That's fine.
but I can send that to you if you'd like it.
I'd love it.
Anything else? Or public comment? I get a motion to approve the resolution as presented? Yeah, second.
Second.
All right, so motion by Brown, seconded by Baker. Any further discussions? Kaylin, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Cool,
Yes.
Minneke,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 7C. Resolution approving the site plan amendment of crayons to pencils. So this is an addition of a parking lot at the crayons pencils building that's on Highway 28. Luke Paris, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a pretty basic site plan, crayons to pencils location that's south on 28, the old church building down there. They're wanting to add some parking to help deal with the users of their facility and give them some more space to park. Currently, there's 44 spots. They'd be adding 22 to get to a total of 66. We do have some requirements for stormwater that we're starting to get up against as far as the amount of impervious surface gets added to a site when it doesn't have stormwater to begin with, because the site's an existing site. So there's not a requirement yet for stormwater stuff to be added, but we did want them to do an analysis of where that detention basin would go in the event that they add more parking and go over that impervious surface square footage requirement. We want to make sure that they were reserving a spot for that basin. So that's what the future detention basin spot is. But other than that, it's really just a small pad with 22 spots there south of the parking lot.
Comments?
One of the things I was just gonna comment, last week, I think, I got a complaint about traffic flow down in that area. And I understand the city's been doing some work down there on that entrance, or around that entrance, so likely that's probably what it is. And well, I don't have any objection to this, but going forward, it'd be mindful for us to keep an eye on that situation if we could, to make sure that, you know, increasing the volume there doesn't create a problem as far as coming on and off that highway that's running through there. You know, just a thought.
Okay. All right. Anything else? public comment?
We appreciate the city and we're just trying to build a daycare spot in the community. So thank you.
All right, should I get a motion to approve the resolution? Okay, got a second.
Second.
All right, so got a motion by Baker, seconded by Meineke. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Kalen, would you call a roll?
Councilmember Minneke,
Yes.
Baker,
Yeah.
Brown,
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right, motion carries. Awesome. Now you got now the hard work starts. Item 7D is a resolution approving the site plan of Dimples Family Dentistry. So this resolution approves where the old, where Dimples Family Dentistry is and where the old Medicap used to be. Luke, floor is yours.
Sure. So scrolling down to the site plan, this is really a modification to the parking lot area. Changing it from a drive-through to just a parking lot. So there's some removal and some demo on that first page. And then you can see how things get paved back with a few sidewalks, repaving a few panels of the parking area in there. As well as they're adding sidewalk along Colonial Parkway on the north side of the building that hadn't been installed with the initial construction. So really just a lot of site work to the parking lot area. The other thing I note that's not on these plans, and it's not part of the plans, but part of their contract for doing all of the work, I believe, is the entrance into the private drive off of Colonial is getting repaved and corrected with all of that work as well.
good.
So it's not part of the approval of the site plan, but it is maintenance work that they have planned to happen along with all this.
That sounds bad. Responsible for that.
So there's an easement over top of that that talks about responsibility being shared across all of the property owners that are beneficial to that. But the property is actually owned by the Dimples group. I forget what their ownership group is called. Rojomo.
Oh, they actually own the entrance?
Yep, so they own the entrance, but the easement then puts obligation for everyone to share in the cost. But it's ultimately their responsibility to arrange for the repair and then to arrange for equal share of the cost. So.
What other questions, Scott?
One other, just to mention, in the staff report, we do note that it was a pharmacy. They are considering it to be an event gathering space as a potential future business option. I did hear within the last couple of days that maybe they're looking at some other options. So it's not really germane to the changes they're doing to the site plan right now as far as the use, but just wanted to note that we have that in the staff report, and that may or may not still be the case.
I was shocked that they want an event, the parking there.
Yeah.
That is like the last thing I was thinking of for a great location for that. We have no rules, I guess, against crazy.
Sometimes that's true.
Oh, my God. It's just, I try to avoid that parking lot at all costs.
They get rid of the drive up.
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll help. That'll help.
So the drive up helps, and then they get a couple extra spots put in there
Yeah.
because they're getting rid of that drive-through connection.
Yeah, now that's really good. Yeah, those 2 extra spots will help.
Yeah, well, small bits.
No sarcasm here.
No sarcasm.
Any public comment? Move on. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Meineke, seconded by Baker. Any further discussion? Kalen, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Baker,
Yeah.
Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
He likes it, man.
Cool,
Yeah.
and Minneke.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 7E. Resolution approving the site plan of Holland Point 55+ Clubhouse. So it looks like Holland would like to move the clubhouse proposed in the PUD to a different location, which is what this site plan is about. Luke, floor is yours.
Yep, so the location for this is the western entrance of Holland Point off of Bryson Drive, kind of right up against Beardsley Street. So backs up to Beardsley, Bryson on the west, and then Garland Avenue, which will be extended on the south, vicinity map in the agenda. Essentially, the clubhouse is a clubhouse building that's around 3,000 square feet, a pickleball court, and a pool. So it's cited on the location fine. It meets all those requirements. The one thing I want to point out more closely on this one is the parking scenario. They are identifying 9 on-street parking spots. So not technically on-street, they are building them off of the curb line, but they would be considered street parking by most folks. So it's pull-in parking off of Garland Avenue. These uses are tricky to try to determine what type of parking we should require. So I just want to run through our rationale with this real quick. Our code tells us for parking requirements that we have a list of different uses. And if a use isn't specifically identified, it says use a similar use. And then if there's not a similar use, it says use your best judgment and other professional resources that you can to come up with something. Well, you look at our codes, there's nothing that is a clubhouse for an HOA in our thing. So you look at things that are similar, maybe it's an athletic fitness club, maybe it's a gathering space, and you look at some of those and you look at what the parking requirements are. We're talking 35 to 40 stalls required for something of that size, which seems a lot for something that's intended to be a neighborhood use. So we have made a staff determination that we believe it to not be anything similar in the code. So just using our own professional judgment, we come back to what the things we know from the planning profession are telling us about parking these days. And it's usually rely on the market experts. These people build things all over the place. They know the parking that they need to have for their patrons. So let's use them as the experts to see what they are and let them tell us what the parking is. And so that's what we did. We really went back to Hubble and said, what's the parking that's needed here? So they proposed 9. I would note that those are not off-street parking spots, they're on street. So that's the other change to this is they're not actually on the site, they are off of Garland. So there are a couple things here without traditional parking going on. And then I don't recall, did we end up making a determination on maintenance of the parking spots? I think internally staff had talked about
In the resolution, it's
Hubble's. Okay, thank you for that, Wayne. So then Hubble is going to take responsibility for maintaining those spots, even though they are partially within the right of way.
And this street at Garland that heads west, if I remember correctly, that's not a through street.
Correct.
It's part of a loop.
It's a loop that wraps around and ends in a cul-de-sac.
Can you park on the street then too?
You will be along other parts of Garland. Obviously there, the pull-ins on one side, I don't think I forget how our parking works, but you won't be able to park opposite of those parking stalls. But farther down Garland, you could, yes. Yep.
So similar to like, a little bit different, but the clubhouse at Lakes.
Yep. Yep. I think the big difference between Legacy Clubhouse and this one is just the density of the users in this one. One of the things we did when we did our review was we looked at who would use this and how close are they? So your farthest resident from this would probably be around 800 feet. Your farthest resident from the Legacy Clubhouse is 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
So there's, at least from our point, there's some expectation that this one we use more by people walking about the neighborhood than those driving. So.
And since this is a 55+ type facility, then it would be even fewer people, right? Would be using it. I mean, because the assumption would be everybody there would be 55+.
I wouldn't discount the grandkids scenario. Kids love pools. So,
Yeah, I guess that's.
but to that point, yeah, it is a 55+ community.
Just have 3 years to wait, so I'm very excited.
Talk to Caleb, they'll hook you up.
Any other discussion or comments, questions from council? Or any public comment? All right, can I get a motion?
Motion.
I'm gonna say motion by Brown, seconded by Baker. Any further discussion? No, cool, sorry.
No, you can give it to Brown if you want to.
Second by Cool. Any further discussion? My apologies. Kayla, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Minneke,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 7F, second reading of an ordinance amending chapter 55, animal protection and control, repealing chapter 57, dog license required, and amending chapter 177, rates and fees related to the above chapters. So we're removing sections dealing with stray dogs. We're removing the issuing of dog licensing. And the change to chapter 177 is to remove the fees for those. So, and just as a note, this change is a reduction in services directly related to House File 718. Chief, Jim, Lynn, or Kalen, any, well, probably not Kalen, Chief or?
Concern?
No?
No, I don't think
All
so.
right. Any discussion or comments from council or public input?
I have none, Your Honor.
Thank you. I got a motion for the second reading. Any seconds? All right, so motion by Baker, seconded by Minneke. Any further discussion? Kalen, would you call roll?
Councilmember Cool,
Yeah.
Minneke,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 7G, is final reading of an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of Norwalk, Iowa by rezoning 912 North Avenue from R4 high density residential to infill plan unit development or an IPUD, thereby establishing the Easter Flats IPUD. So, Luke, anything to add?
Nothing new?
All right, any discussion or comments, council, or public input? Can I get a motion to approve final reading?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Minneke, seconded by Brown. Any further discussion? Kalen, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Minneke,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 7H is final reading of an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of Norwalk, Iowa by rezoning 729 Jackson Street from RF Founders Residential District to C4 Founders Business District. Luke, anything to add?
Nothing new?
Any questions, discussions, comments from council or public input? Can I get a motion? to
Motion.
approve Final reading. So Baker,
Second.
seconded by Minneke. Any further discussion? Kalen would call roll.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Minneke.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 8 is future agenda items. So the purpose of this item is for council to give direction to staff by way of motion to have items placed on future agendas. It's not for discussion of the merits of the subject matter. Does anybody have anything?
I do. I would like, in the whole spirit of saving money and, the 718, decreasing services a little bit, let's do cleanup days every other year instead of.
That'll use up a lot of storeroom.
What's the discussion on that?
What's, yeah.
Just the discussion item on that? Okay, so I got a motion, to put a discussion item of cleanup days on the agenda. Just there's got a second?
I'll second it.
All right, so, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. All right. That will be on a future agenda for discussion.
And then another item, I want to make sure that someone is watching the accountability for winding down the construction of our new building. Making sure all the punch lists are hit, just that nothing falls through the cracks. And I don't know how to do that other than say it now. So I'm not sure what that means. It's not really a resolution. We just wanting to make sure that this.
Yeah, but I can tell you that at such time that we're at substantial completion and there's a resolution that comes in, hey, here are the keys to the building type of thing from de novo. At that point in time, we'd have a chance to see whatever the punch list items are. I will tell you that I'm a part of the courtesy copy on the emails that go back and forth on items that have showed up. And that has gone from a very long list to a much shorter list. So I will tell you that they're being very attentive to that. Our building officials are spending a lot of time out there. Our inspectors, not just like they would on a normal commercial structure, but because they know it's our building, they're spending additional time out there. So I feel like there's a lot of set of eyes on there, but you will have a chance to consider a resolution and see that punch list. So.
Okay.
Anything else from anybody? All right, we'll move on. Item 9, council inquiries and staff update. The 2024 drop-off event. I'm assuming that's Wayne.
Yeah, I just included it for your information, notes on how the event went this year.
Cool. Any questions on that?
This is what we're talking about, doing every 2 years, or is that something different?
Well, they're two different things.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about where we pay to actually send someone out and pick up virtually all of it.
And then the drop-off event is like tires,
But it is.
appliances, stuff like that. It coincides.
It's a weekly.
Oh, I didn't know.
It can be together, maybe discuss that also every other year instead of every year. Yes, it's pretty significant dollars.
Okay. Anything else, Wayne?
The Golden Valley Drive project is moving along pretty good. They have about a month worth of work remaining there. So if we don't get, there'll be some rain delays, obviously, but they're moving along pretty good. Seeding will occur this fall then on that project. That's it.
Awesome, thank you. Jim?
So,
Brian?
George Hill. Ed? Yeah, nice article about joining Kalia.
Yeah.
That looked really cool. And Golden Valley Drive is a nice looking street.
Yes, it is.
I looked at it. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Lou?
15 residential permits in June, so we're still tracking a little bit above average for the year, 130 total so far. Reminder, we had 191 last year, so we're good on that front. Busy on commercial front as well. We're got a bunch of inspections tomorrow morning at Fairfield, so hoping to get them moving on some more things. We're getting close to doing temp certificate occupancy on Sportsplex building as well, which will let them really start getting to work on the interior finishes of all the users there. So that's good. Hired 2 building inspectors last couple weeks. One of them started on Monday. And then the other starts next Monday. So we're back up to fully staffed on the inspection side. Still got some training to do with those new guys when they get in, but it's going to help us ease the workload of our building officials that we have. Mike, who you saw earlier today, has been a real trooper and worked a lot for us the last 6-7 months while we were short staffed. So they're happy for the relief.
Awesome. Very.
I'm up in tonight.
Chief? Court?
Thank you. Fire department's been relatively busy for the first few months of the year. Our call volume is up about 10% from the end of June from last year, while our mutual aid remains on the decline, which I think is great news. We saw 1 fire in relation to fireworks. On the 3rd, we had a dumpster fire that was believed to be started by improperly discarded fireworks debris. You may have seen we did have a structure fire on the 6th on Aspen Drive. It was a garage fire. It was contained to the garage. Crews did a nice job of getting that cleaned up relatively quickly. We were called again for another structure fire on the 9th on 50th Ave. It was mostly mitigated by the time we got there, but it was due to lithium ion batteries. So we plan to put out some public announcement stuff about that. They're relatively dangerous. And I think it's important that the public understands the risk they're taking by having items that are powered by lithium ion batteries in their homes. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Did you have any calls regarding fireworks injuries?
No firework injuries this year, thank goodness. We just had the one reported of the dumpster fire. Yeah, it was a construction dumpster, so it did take quite a few resources. Thanks to Public Works, they did come out with an end loader and kind of help us get everything out of that container to put the fire out. So we had no injuries.
Pole at Mac.
Yeah.
trying to figure out what some of the effects were, medical. some
Yeah.
things.
No reported injuries this year for us.
Good.
Tony,
Just mentioned Cedar Falls construction, we got started on our patching project, this week, so. Got a good start on that. They anticipate being done before school starts, so, that'll be a good thing. And public improvements for 4 more plats, just getting started to, Hugh Century Crossing Plat 9, Valley View Plat 2, Saddle Ridge Plat 1, and Holland Point Plat 4.
Wow.
That's all I've got.
all right, Chief.
About 2 weeks ago, Officer Cork was in the workout room, heard some banging on the window. Went outside and there was a man who had an unresponsive woman in the car, not breathing. He dragged her out of the car, started CPR, called for help. Fire department came outside, gave her some Narcan. She revived and is alive. So we had a good save, teamwork by everybody involved. So we gave him a life-saving award last week, well deserved. We interviewed applicants for police officer yesterday. We're still trying to find 2 more. We interviewed 4, we found 3 we like, and we're hopeful we can find 2 out of those 3 and get them started in the academy in August. If we do that, there'll be 3 Norwalk officers in the academy at the same time. I don't think we've ever done that before. We've done 2, but never 3. But that would make us full staffed for the first time in many years. So that would be good. And Front Porch Norwalk went well last night. The next one's in August, second Wednesday of August. And Spur Memorial Golf Outing to benefit youth activities is next Saturday, July 20th. So that's all I got.
Cool, thank you. Holly.
I'll let Luker, you talk about the annexation progress, which is fun. The project west that we've been working with, south of Delaware. So it's about a 300-acre project now. Things are moving forward really well with that. Getting close to kind of closing on some land down there, and then maybe we can have a little bit more public information about that project, but so far it's going really well. On the next council meeting, we'll have our economic development part-time tech position job description on for you to review, and hopefully we get them hired here in the next couple of months. We might try to wait till a little bit closer to the time frame that we're back here fully in City Hall after the renovations, but I can get them trained up and start working with them in the meantime. We will also have the residential tax abatement policy or ordinance that's being repealed. We'll have that on next council meeting as well. We just wanted to make sure that the rollout of that and the public notification and everything is really clean so that it's simple and simple to execute. And then we have a pretty big development underway with the Greg Young land that they have and another parcel that's being considered for some expansion. So it's probably 17, 18 acres total between the 2 that'll be coming forward. We'll have a MOU for the council to review with the draft terms for the development agreement on that. And that'll be a lot of good value. And the Hilton True, they're hoping to get some site work started pretty soon. Look at their signs up out there. The hotel is coming soon. And then their outlot also is available now for commercial users to take a look at and consider. It's a great spot in between the hotel and Fairway. So lots of good things going there. And we have about 3 national restaurants and retailers kind of circling the Norwalk Central area like sharks. So that's really good because I'd say by next year, we're going to be out of those commercial parcels. So it's going good.
Nothing for me.
All right. Caitlin? No, Jason?
I just wanted to acknowledge the very kind email we got from Mr. Thorson on the Blue Stem Drive project. Was appreciative of his good words about Wayne. And I assume that probably most of the residents would also agree with the sentiments in that letter. So, but it was nice to hear. And like I said, I was particularly thankful for saying something.
Good, thank you.
A couple items first. I was able to, Gene Kelly and I, our finance director, we went to the field house today over noon and played pickleball. So it was kind of nice during their soft opening to experience that. Amazing facility. I did follow up with an email to the Park and Recreation staff, and I told them that one thing that really stood out to me, the past 3 times that I've been in the facility during the soft opening, each time I have seen at least one staff person pushing a broom around the facility, either on the courts or in the commons area. And it warms my heart to know that they recognize the need to keep that facility clean. So that was really neat to see. If you hadn't have a chance to at least go over there and walk around, check out the facility, please do that. Second thing, I will be on vacation next week, leaving on Wednesday. I'll be gone for a week, possibly a week and a couple days. So I will participate in that following council meeting via Zoom. Okay. And then I'll leave it up to you to give an update on annexation.
Okay. All right, so for annexation, we have 3 voluntary annexation agreements signed. We have quite a few others who have agreed who say, yes, they're gonna come in and sign, so we have hit our 80% that we need. We're gonna start sending letters out to part of the 20 that haven't, haven't agreed or we haven't been able to contact to let them know that they're a part of the 20. We expect them to roll over into the 80% pretty quickly. So it's been very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing I have is I am going out of town as well. Leaving tomorrow. We'll be back on Tuesday, so no community chat on Saturday. There's a sign on the door about that. Who's in charge? Who? Now,
Who's your pro tem?
Jackie.
Okay, so we'll send Jackie down.
Okay, Jackie's out of town too, so. Yeah, I don't know. So, all right, that's all I had. So we'll go to item number 10, which is a closed session pursuant to Iowa Code Section 2151J to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate only where premature disclosure would be reasonably expected to increase the price of the governmental body would have to pay for that property or reduce the price the governmental body would receive for that property. So Jen, is this a valid reason to go into closed session? Yes, it is. All right, so can I get a motion to go into closed session?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, so motion by Brown, seconded by Baker. Kalen, would you call a roll?
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Cool,
Yeah.
Minor,
Yeah.
All right, motion carries. We're gonna have a quick recess for 7 minutes, 8 minutes. We'll be back at 6:50 for the closed session.